Hello, I summarized how to extend human life beyond 100 years old. Let's first look at the average life expectancy. The average life expectancy of man in Japanese is 18.79 years old. Woman is 87.5 years old. Both have a high lifespan, but Japan is inferior to Hong Kong. The average life expectancy of men in Hong Kong is 81.24 years old. Women is 87.32 years old. So, I researched why does Hong Kong have best longevity in the world. Chinese medicine and Chinese doctor exist in Hong Kong, and then conscious of health daily. Also, a standard of education is expensive. The difference between rich and poor is small. There are many slopes in the street. It seems to be a secret to longevity to encourage moderate exercise. Next, I researched the cause of death of the Japanese people. I summarized the main cause of death by age. First of all, the young old has overwhelmingly many deaths in suicide. Next, 14 to 89 years old has a lot of cancer. Heart disease and senescence seems to be the main cause of death after 9 years old. It seems to be important to prevent cancer and keep body health for a long time to live 100 years old. Then I will tell you how to live long. I researched about the relation of height and life. This is an important matter for me. This graph shows the change in lifespan of the Japanese Hawaiian by height. I can read from looking at the graph that people with a lower height live longer. A survey showed that the risk of cancer increased by 10 from 20% every time the height increased by 10 centimeters. This is shocking. Next, we examine the change in life by occupation. This is a ranking of lifespan for each occupation. It seems that more freedom and regular work is living longer. It also seems important to have high income with less hierarchical relationship and less stress. So, what kind of occupation is not longevity? It seems that sales, system engineers, store chief of chain stores are not longevity. It is but influenced health by cause the norm and the work with a long restraint time. Also, it seems that the time to continue working is important. We think that longevity is free usually. But, however, there is such data. This is the data on the average life expectancy and rate of old people who continue working in Nagano, which are best in Japan. From this data, it can read that the elderly in Nagano continues to work even when it is older. In other words, it turns out that moderate labor leads to long life. Next, eating. Regarding eating habits and regularly balanced eating is the secret of longevity as you can think. Also, vegetarians tend to live longer. Speaking of eating life, think liquor also. But it seems that liquor has a good effect on longevity if it is appropriate in terms of debugging without stress. Of course, cigarettes are prohibited to greatly increase the probability of cancer. Character is also an important element on longevity. Character which can longevity has 5 characteristics logically divided. 1 is hardworking. It is possible to avoid actions that put yourself in danger and never do behaviors that go beyond a certain degree. The second is frank. It's to have a way of thinking that has a wide variety of ideas and not bound by one thing. The third is stability. The emotions are stable. The fourth is affection. Friendly with diplomacy and carefree. The fifth one expresses emotion, though often do not suppress emotion. People who meet all of these are longevity. I think that this will lead to a person who knows a variety of ways of living without suffering too much stress as a whole. Although I have said so much, there are some that greatly increase the risk of death. It is divorce and worse. Research at the University of Copenhagen shows that the risk of death jumped about triple. It seems that there is a high probability of being killed by becoming alone by delaying of notice of disease, loneliness, death, collapse of spiritual balance, and so on. To longevity, it was not only our own efforts, also the environment surrounding us changed greatly. I have described how I can longevity. I summarize my opinion at the end. It is very difficult to longevity, and it seems most of the time that I can do anything with my own power. In Japan now, the treatment for the elderly is sick. The burden on young people is great, and the incidents caused by the elderly are widely taken up, and the tendency to not think much of the elderly comes out. Through this project, I feel that living for a long time is wonderful, not necessarily a good thing. I think important to honor the elders again. I think that looking for a way to live is also important. But I think it is the next problem to think about how older people live. Thank you.